It was facing us, not the way a building faces you, which is just geometry, a consequence of where you happen to stand. This was oriented, deliberate. The second door stood on the far horizon of coordinate 80, 9 east with its western face open, and the light pouring from it was the exact amber of our own east face, as though the two doors were staring at each other across 100 miles of dark plain, and had been staring for longer than either of us had been alive. It is the same architecture, Bello said. She was reading the scanner over my shoulder, though I do not know what the scanner could tell her about something 100 miles away. Same proportions, same mass signature, same material. The door at coordinate 89 east is not a copy, it is a match, built by the same hands. The precursors, I said, or whatever taught them. Holt was at the east face, standing so close that the amber light erased everything about her except silhouette, and in the silhouette I could see her glyph raised, the 7 marks catching the glow. She was reading the light the way I read the spiral text, not with eyes, with the part of her that had carried one word for 23 years. This is why it stopped, I said. The Foundation was not looking for the incoming thing, it was looking for this, a second door. A door it already knew about. I could feel the Foundation beneath coordinate 89 east the way I felt it beneath the origin cavern, enormous, aware, patient. But different. At the origin it had been asking whether the surface was safe. Here, 89 coordinates east, it was not asking anything. It was listening. The tether in my chest hummed, and through it I could feel the Foundation's attention fixed on the second door the way a hand rests on a lock it built but never opened. Vance, Ray said. The countdown. I looked at our door socket. The number that had been counting down since my first night in the cavern, the coordinate of the incoming thing, was still dropping. But the rate had changed. It was no longer the steady 1-digit per day decline I had tracked for weeks, and it was no longer the compressed freefall from the Foundation's transit. It was irregular, jumpy, as if the incoming thing had noticed the Foundation's movement and was recalculating. 63, Bello read, 61, 59, it is still coming, but the interval is uneven now. It is adjusting its approach, because it knows there is something at 89, I said. Something between it and us that was not there yesterday. Holt turned from the east face. Her eyes were wet, which I had never seen before, not once in every revelation and crisis and negotiation since she had first shown me the cavern. Not when I read the countdown aloud. Not when the Foundation spoke through me. Not when the ceiling cracked. It is the other end, she said. The precursors did not build one door, they built two, one at the origin, one further out, and the Foundation connects them beneath the grid like a root system connecting two trees. The second door is the eastern anchor. An anchor against what? Reyes asked. Against the incoming thing. The precursors did not just seal up and flee. They built a perimeter. 2 doors, 1 foundation, and everything between them was the buffer, a corridor of empty worlds. And the incoming thing has been crossing that corridor since before we found the first door. I felt the truth of it in the tether before I understood it in words. The Foundation had not mobilized to fight or to join. It had mobilized to reinforce a wall. The grid between coordinate 0 and coordinate 80, 9 east, was not just geography. It was a defensive structure. 2 doors like posts, the Foundation stretched between them like wire, and the incoming thing pressing against the far side, I said. How do you know this? The precursors' inscriptions, the original text around the door. Did it describe this? No, she said. The inscriptions described a warning, a distance, a countdown. They did not describe the architecture. I am reading it now. From the 7th glyph, she held out her wrist. The 7th mark, her claws, the word for time that she had added to the Foundation's contract 23 years ago. It was not just redarkened. It was growing. The edges had extended, thin dark lines branching from the original glyph like veins, spreading down her forearm toward her elbow. New text, written live on her skin by the Foundation. It is telling me what it could not tell Vance, she said. Because I am the older signatory, I have carried the contract longer, and it needs me to understand what the second door means before the incoming thing reaches it. What does the second door mean? I asked. Holt read the growing text on her arm, slowly, the way I had read the spiral, listening with the part of her that was no longer entirely her own. And then she looked at me, and the grief in her face was older than anything I had seen in the cavern, older than the ice, older than the door. It means the buffer is breached, she said. The incoming thing is not at coordinate 59, it is at coordinate 89. It has been here for a very long time, and the second door is not the precursor's perimeter. She looked at the dark plane through the east face, at the distant shape on the horizon, at the second amber glow that was not, I now realized, quite the same color as ours. The second door is its